to just go live everywhere else. Hello, everywhere else. So, I decided to go live a little bit early today and just to chat with you really quick because I have thoughts. I have thoughts, and that I would like to share with you. I'm live everywhere. I'm live on my Instagram. I'm live on my Facebook. I'm live on YouTube. I'm live on Twitter. So I'm literally live everywhere. So everybody, like if you're watching me, like I am here, and today, like I have an interesting topic to talk about because I'm thinking about like here recently I've been thinking about and about QA as a profession, right? And how many different people may see like QA as a profession and what is essentially is, and seeing how other people are growing in that industry, and like how people develop themselves for that like out of that industry. And it's just interesting, and it's just I find it's really interesting to see different dynamic, right? Like how people like get into QA, and then they grow into like either product or development, or like they go so deep into test automation and tool development that it's just their main specialty. So which is also cool. But today I have, as always, I have thoughts and presentation. I'm not going to be super long today. I literally just want to share with you my thoughts and um, share with you my thoughts. And if I have any questions, if I have anybody online or on my stream, feel free to ask me questions. I know it's like in certain parts of the country it's a little bit early, and I realize people might be working, but um, I'm just testing out different like time to stream. What is a good time to stream? What is a good time to go live? So, but without further ado, let's talk about QA as a backdoor into tech. I remember when I was thinking about getting into QA, when I was thinking about getting into tech, people, it's something that other people literally told me. They said, "Hey Eugene, like I understand you want to be a QA engineer, but just so you realize that oftentimes that QA is just a back door into tech." And what they mean by that, apparently there is belief that if you want to get into tech, you have to be an engineer, you have to be a software developer, you have to be a web developer, mobile developer. They consider it as a front door, and a QA specialty is not as famous, is not as popular. So before I got into QA, I had no idea that that profession existed. I had no idea that like what QA was, and I had no idea about that profession. I had no idea about and that like what they did. It's just people were telling me, people were telling me about different uh, different professions, and um, somebody has to like call me on my phone as I'm going live, and I'm just going to put myself on non-disturb for 1 hour so nobody can disturb me. Okay. So I apologize, Instagram. So like as I'm going live on Instagram, I know like people on YouTube and other like platforms they can see it, but like people on Instagram they probably see my video interrupted like a few times. So like I do apologize for that. So anyway, QA as a backdoor profession into tech, as a backdoor into tech. So that's people who usually tell me, they say, hey, like get into QA, then you will figure out. Get into QA and then you figure out. Get into QA and then you figure out. And I'm having all kinds of connection issues on my phone today. So yes, so basically people were telling me get into QA and then you will figure out. So and uh, I think they kind of like they were kind of right. So because uh, oftentimes oftentimes when people get into QA and people after like certain period of time in the profession, people start thinking about what am I doing? Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm not coming after software developers in test as much I'm coming from manual QA. If you are manual QA, I'm sorry to let you know you need to grow. You need to grow because that skill set at some point is going to be like, I'm not saying that manual QA is going to be absolutely outdated, but like you need to go somewhere, you need to grow somewhere, either in like learn programming language, learn test automation, or do something else, because strictly like 100% manual QA, I don't know. People, here's the thing. When I was getting into QA, people were telling me that, oh, QA is dying, and like it's going to be harder to find a job as a manual QA. And it was true, but not. It was true, but not really. And but like I think as I was in the industry, and at the company that I was a part of, and they talk about test automation was always in place. They talk about that if a QA engineer doesn't know how to code, doesn't know how to do test automation, there's like that was not okay, and everybody was encouraged to learn test automation. There was constant talk about bettering your skill set as a QA engineer and going into something more difficult and doing something more difficult, such as test automation. So, and there are a few ways people usually grow a lot out of QA, out of manual QA. People go into um, QA plus programming, so doing test automation and becoming a software developer in test is one way to go, and people get really good at it. And it's one of the popular pathways from manual QA, and I think it makes a lot of sense because um, as that building test automation is a little bit simpler and it's a little bit easier than build production app, like in my opinion. I mean, test automation can be very complex, and there can be a lot of complexity in that. But I think because it is not production code and it is not really customer facing code, so you have a little bit more freedom there, and you have it's safe to fail in test automation for the most part versus fail in production. So a lot of QA engineers, they're learning test automation, they're getting into development, and they're becoming software developers in test. Another route for QA people is to learn programming in either web development, mobile development, or backend development. So, and again, sometimes you might take a route becoming as that and then becoming a developer. Becoming an as that software developer in test and then becoming a developer. It is possible, but like you don't have the point is you don't have to be a software developer in test to continue with the development route. You absolutely don't have to be a software developer in test to continue to development route. Another route people might take from QA route is management. And when it comes to management and people management, is normally QA manager, senior QA and QA manager, and maybe later on at some point engineering manager. Why I say maybe, because a lot of leaders in QA space, especially in manual QA space, people who would transition from manual QA to management, they would be managing QA teams, and that's that was kind of obvious. So QA, manual QA, or person with a QA background manages QA team. Engineering managers later on, possibly, like everybody has its own path, but again, in tech there is a prejudice against QA, that QA, like you can grow into QA industry really fast and really far, but like you just gotta be in that QA box. You just gotta be in that QA specialty. You meaning like you're gonna manage QA teams. You're gonna be QA, like you're gonna be lead, tech lead for test automation engineers. So it's not like that you grow and you are managing engineering teams like right away. Like it may happen at some point later on. Like I'm not saying it's not happening or it doesn't happen at like at any time, but normally you kind of stay there. Like when it comes to people management, you kind of stay there. So product, it's another way that QA professionals grow into. I've seen a QA engineer transitioning into product, technical project management. Um, she was my coworker, and she was actually hired as a junior project manager, and she was very open about it. She said, "Hey, like I've been working as a QA for my entire career, but that like it's time for me to grow and it's time for me to go and do product, and I'm more interested in product." And she's a good TPM. She's a good project manager, business analyst. I know a person who was looking for a QA position, but she was so product oriented that she got a business analyst job instead of QA, and was kind of like just fell into her lab without even like working in QA for too long. Now, a product owner. So as you growing in product, as you get in uh, better and better at product and product management, you can be a product owner, and like you can work on the product of things, and you can talk with the stakeholders and stuff like that. So there are many different routes that you can take, but let's talk about if you take as that route. So what is after test automation? Because like it's good, you can get really high salary, as I was talking in one of my videos. Like yes, you can get really high salary as a software developer in test, but what's next? Like it will be fun and it will be cool for a few years, but like let's say after like 4 or 5 10 years, what is after that? Like you gotta grow into somewhere. And again, if it comes to people management, again, you kind of like back to that like QA manager place. And engineering manager, like again, like it might be questionable. It might be a little iffy. So for me personally, I'm not talking about for everyone, because I know software developers who transition to test automation and they build a wonderful career out of it, and um, like started working on the companies that focus on test automation and focus on developing those tools for test automation, and like going like really far. So like I'm just talking about from my experience, from my perspective, because everybody is a little different. From my perspective, it didn't make sense for me to stay there. Why did it make sense for me to stay there? Because I didn't like see, like here's the thing, I didn't see where to go. I'm like, okay, where did I go from here? I'm a senior as that. I'm a senior developer in test. And only this company knows that I'm really, I mean, I had a really good reputation overall as an SDET, but like, where do I go from here? And um, I could either go route like I can see like as an SDET, I can be a freelancer. Not really. I can be an entrepreneur. I can be an entrepreneur. I can teach other people how to do test automation. I can teach how other people how to do XUI tests and like get paid for it. I can coach people on that, and there are many schools that do that, and there are many schools that do that. I didn't want to do that because I thought again like that was a little bit too limiting for me. So, but when I look at the software developer profession, I immediately saw many opportunities. So, as a software developer, I can do freelance. If I one day I wake up and I say, you know what, I don't want to work for corporate America no more. I want to do freelance. I want to work with small businesses. I just gotta grab a bunch of contracts and work as a freelancer and live my life and be more free, like do entrepreneurship. So I can totally do that. And software development gives me those skills. I can build something out of nothing. I can build a mobile site for other people. And even though I don't know backend really well, I can teach myself backend development, or I can use pre-made backend for small businesses such as Firebase. Or if it's only iOS, I can use iCloud for my backend. Again, like here we go. And I can be a freelancer. I can make money with my skill set right now as we speak if I want to. If in fact, sometimes people reach out to me and ask for small projects to complete, ask for small work to complete, and or give them consultation. So here we go. Technical leadership, it's another route to grow as a software developer. And a lot of software developers, they grow into technical leadership and become principal developers, solution architects, overall tech leads in general. And like they can grow, like they can grow into tech leadership to the point that they become people managers with a very heavy technical knowledge of what people do. Like so they can do, like they can become managers, or they can become technical leaders and teach other developers, lead other developers how to do the thing. And software developers as leaders, they have way far more reach versus like senior as that's in leadership, because software developers, they build, like they build product, right? They build something out of nothing. They build something that users see. And in my opinion, and it's what I see in the industry, is that they normally very knowledgeable. They have really deep knowledge, not just of their specialty, but of software development overall. Like they talk to the backend development. And in fact, before I landed my current job, I was interviewing for another role. Our schedules unfortunately misaligned in terms of like the interviews, but that was pretty high senior leadership role where I would work with the backend developers and I would advocate for the mobile team how the backend should be developed for the mobile app. So, and I really enjoy that type of work. I personally really enjoy that type of work. Well, like collaborating with the backend team, and or having those architectural discussions with the backend teams, like that. That's really amazing. That's really dope. So I thoroughly enjoy that. So management, again, not a lot of developers, I shouldn't say that, but at some point, developers might question what is next. So at some point, and it's really funny to me. It's really funny to me. Software developers work so hard to learn how to code, so they, at some point in their career, don't have to code anymore. I'm going to say it again. It's so funny that so many software developers work so hard to learn how to code, so they don't have to code in their career anymore. So they can get in that leadership position, management position, and lead the teams, and they don't have to write code anymore. I think it's a little funny. I think it's a little interesting for me, because I was fighting for my role. I was working really hard, and when my manager and we had a conversation, and um, the question was, okay, like, do you want to be like a people manager? Like, do you want to do like product, or do you want to grow into technical leadership? I'm like, hey, I like people, but I think what choice do I have? I was working too hard for like being where I'm at right now. I'm not giving up coding and like my technical competency. Like, no, I'm growing with technical skills. Another thing that you can do as a software developer, you can do entrepreneurship. You can teach other people how to code, not necessarily open your like boot camp. Like, you don't have to open boot camp. You can teach other people how to code, and if you put together high quality program that gives high quality results, Like you can totally do that. You don't have to open the whole school. You can do it by yourself and start with one-on-one coaching. Like this is kind of what I'm doing. Like start with one-on-one coaching, see what works and what doesn't, and then you can scale into groups and do small groups, high ticket coaching, high ticket education, because you give so much attention and such a high quality coding education that boot camps just are not able to provide. And do small groups, do like between 3 to 5 people in one group for like providing high quality content, high quality information, and plus they have one-on-one access to you like on request while when they're like studying and learning. So let's say you can have like two one-on-one on demand. In my program right now, two one-on-ones, it's like period. Like if you are in my program, you have two one-on-ones per week with me, and for the rest of the time you either studying fundamentals, you're learning how to build mobile apps, or you're working on the real features. Depends where you're at in your maturity. So like if you're good to learn and do development, you do development, and if you're not there yet, you learn fundamentals. So you can actually you can create your own agency. And it kind of goes back to the freelance. But as a freelancer, if you're really successful, at some point you can deliver it all. So because a lot of people go to like freelance around because they want freedom. They want freedom and they want independence. And to have that freedom, if you're a really successful freelancer, if you're really successful business that people want services from you, you can create an agency. You can hire other software developers and you create an agency. And you can help other people how to build mobile apps, for example, or web apps. Or you can actually partner with other developers that don't have your specialty. Let's say like I'm an iOS developer, right? And let's say another business wants to hire me as a freelancer, but they need a backend. So I can hit my friend backend developer up and say, hey, like, do you wanna work with me? Like, I have a client. This is what they want, and they need a backend developer. And I don't know how to do backend development. And in fact, I can do it all by myself. So my friend and I, now we're agency. And now that client wants a website. So, and if we're doing a really good job, where do they go? Like they know we're tech people. They will, if they're not as technical enough, they might hit me up and say, "Hey, actually, we need a web developer now. Can you find a web developer now for us?" And here it is. Now 3 developers working for the project. So, and now, well, you have like full blown agency. As you can see, software developer software developer has many more choices and many more opportunities than let's say as that, right? So I like the only like as that could possibly do freelance. They could, and just again, you have to find those companies that are willing to pay you well as a freelancer. So or like you can teach other people how to test. So you can basically like freelance not so much as that freelance no not so much, to be honest with you. Like it's rare. Like it's possible but it's rare. Like can you do technical leadership as that? Again, like only related to QA. Let's say management, people management, again, like everything will you draw back into QA box, right? Can you do entrepreneurship as that or QA? Yes, you can teach other people how to test. Like you can teach them your knowledge. Can you create like an agency? Like possibly, yeah. Like you can connect with other people and with other developers, and like you can create your agency. But as a software developer, you have so much exposure as you're working on the feature. You have so much exposure when you're working on stuff that it's just incredible. And overall, you have more flexibility there. So I've been on live like about almost 30 minutes, like 25 minutes. So like if you have any questions, please let me know. If you have any questions, like now would be a good time because I have to wrap it up here soon. But I just wanted to like my day is kind of busy today, so I really wanted to hop on live today and chat with you really quick. So like do I have like do y'all have any questions, and do we have anything on chat on Instagram or anywhere else? So I don't see any questions. And if you're watching this video on the replay, and if you have questions or if you have thoughts, by all means, please share it in the comments, because like I'm doing it for y'all. I'm doing it for y'all, so provide you as much value as I possibly can. So it doesn't seem like I have the whole lot of questions. Like y'all be kind of quiet on me. Like y'all, I don't know. Like I oftentimes like I do my live streams and then somebody reach out after live stream, and it's totally okay. It's totally okay. So like if you want to reach out to me personally, if you're interested about my program, so you can check out the description, and like there's a link for Calendly, there's a link for mini course, so you can check those both links out. If you're interested in becoming an iOS developer, if you want to switch to specialty and become an iOS developer, like hit me up. This is what I did, and like I will do like I will do the best at my I will do my best to get you there as fast as I can. But if you want to learn more, so like we can chat, because like it all depends on your level, right? Like somebody with somebody who has fundamentals down, how to build mobile apps, right? Maybe like after two, three tutorials, that person might have a better idea how to build mobile apps. They just need more experience. Like that's one route, and it can be faster. Another person might be like know nothing about iOS development, and they're starting from zero. So like, and those are like a little two different routes, a little two different programs, and like thankfully I have in like my program is, and it's customizable and it's individualized, so meaning one-on-one. So I'm working with your level of knowledge, I'm working with your level of expertise in mobile development. So definitely hit me up if you're interested. So all right, I want to wrap it up. Thank you so much for riding with me this afternoon, and I hope to see you on in my DM. So if you're interested, if you have any thoughts, if you have any questions, please feel free to DM me. Feel free to schedule something on my Calendly link. We can chat and we can talk about it. Yeah, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, y'all. All right.